Hi guys, thank you guys for being here today. I have everyone here on Zoom. So I'm just gonna place it right there. Thank you guys. ¿Cómo están? Hola. Welcome to the clase de español. So today we are going to be learning about interpersonal communications and the importance of it in Spanish-speaking countries. Being able to have conversations with people is very important, especially if you're able to do it in a different language. It's a skill that will really help you guys as you guys go on in life and in your education journeys. So, today we are going to be activating our prior knowledge and thinking about our daily routines. So, thinking about things that we do every day in our lives and forming connections or seeing how it differs from people that are from Spanish speaking countries. I think it's really important to understand that the way people grow up and the way people do life can be very different. And in some instances, there are some similarities. So I want you guys to pay attention to that as well. We are going to be watching short videos and we are going to be looking at different scenarios of people and see how they interact with each other through their daily lives routines. And so I want you guys to look at that and see how that relates to your life, or maybe it might not, and you guys might be shocked, or you guys might learn a lot about the differences of people and see how they grow up. And I think that's really important because, as you guys know, or maybe not, some Spanish speaking countries are not as fortunate as us, and so their daily lives might be really different from what we're used to. And so I think it's important to be aware of that and to be able to gather those differences. So what we're going to do is you guys are going to get a worksheet that's going to have different vocabulary words and phrases that relate to daily life routines. But first, I want you guys to think about stuff that you guys do every day. So, for example, we all brush our teeth in the morning, right? I hope so. So, you guys are going to be learning how to say some of those words in Spanish so that eventually you guys can partner up with one of your classmates and you guys will be able to have a conversation with them about maybe your morning routine or maybe what you do when you get off of school. So yeah, we're going to be learning some of those words. So the vocabulary page is going to have phrases or words that are like dinner. Dinner is cena, and you guys are going to be able to see them next to each other and practice them. Another word on there might be desayunar. Desayunar is breakfast, right? That's something that a lot of us do in the mornings. We have breakfast. Something else that we do along in the mornings or in our daily routines, like I mentioned, is brushing our teeth. So nos lavamos los dientes, and so these words are all going to be on the worksheet. And before we get started on practicing these words, I want you guys to highlight on there words that you guys might already be familiar with. Because if you guys can understand some of the words and if you guys know some of them, then those are words that you don't have to practice as much, right? Because those are words that you already are familiar with. Those are already words that you might be able to incorporate into a conversation, which is great. So, as you guys know, the importance of learning Spanish is that we practice how fluent we can be in it, the pronunciation of it, and being able to use the skills in a language class and be able to apply it to our actual lives. So, I want you guys to take that into consideration. Before we go over the words, of course, we're going to watch some short videos. I want you guys to be able to form connections and to be able to think about some of the stuff that you guys might already do. At the end, like I mentioned, you guys are going to be partnered up with the peer, and you guys are going to be having a conversation with them. And I will be going around and seeing how well you guys can participate in these conversations, and that will ultimately be a grade. So it's really important for you guys to actually pay attention to the words that we are learning, to be able to pronunciate them and to be effective listeners, right? Because you guys are going to be listening to your peers and just how you would want them to show you the respect of listening to you. I'm sure they want the respect back, right? And we're not here to judge each other on how we're speaking some of the words, on how we're saying some of the language. It is fine. We are practicing, we are learning, and eventually you guys are going to be able to use these words in your everyday lives, and that's going to be great. And that's the whole point of interpersonal communication, is that you can have effective communication with your peers, and it's a skill that you're going to keep learning and you're going to keep growing in as you guys keep going on in life. So I think it's really important to keep that in mind. So for right now, we're going to watch some videos and just seeing the difference, and then we are going to practice our worksheets. So now I'm going to hand out the worksheets, and like I said, I want you guys to be going through them and seeing if you guys know some of these words. Once we are able to go through these words and practice them, you guys, we're going to be using our Chromebooks to log on to Kahoot, because I do have some questions that I want to ask you guys just to see where we're at. It's really important to see what words we already know and then what words we might need to spend a little bit more time with. So Kahoot, of course, it's great because you guys are able to use your Chromebooks, phones, tablets to be able to answer these questions, and that'll help you guys know what words or phrases you guys need to practice more, and then it will help me see maybe if there's some words or phrases that the whole class is struggling in, and we can go from there. For right now, though, I want to give you guys an example of how a conversation might go if you are talking about your daily routine, right? So, of course, when you greet someone, you always want to say hola, ¿cómo estás? Or ¿cómo están? It depends on who you're speaking to. Um, and then if they ask you, like, oh, ¿cómo te va? So, ¿cómo te va is how's it going, right? And you can say bien, you know. Um, Hoy me desperté y me hice mi desayunos. Today I woke up and I made my breakfast, right? Like I said, we already talked about breakfast and desayuno. They're going to be right there in one of those words. So that's something that you guys need to keep in mind. Um, then you might say, después me arreglé para irme a la escuela. Then I got ready to go to school. So going to school, right? That's part of our daily routines. We do that 5 days a week. And so going to school will be on there as ir a la escuela. And so that's a phrase that you guys need to keep in mind and try to remember. Some of the stuff that we do might differ. And so if you guys have questions, if you guys do something every day that's not on there and you guys want to know how you guys can incorporate that into a conversation, of course, raise your hands, let me know, and I will tell you, or I can write it down on there, or you guys can write it down, how you would say that if you want to learn it in Spanish and if you want to use it in your conversations. You guys don't have to, though. A lot of this is common things that you would do in a daily routine. Eating food, that's something that we do every day. Going to school, it's always something that we do, Monday to Friday at least. Um, Going outside, so salir afuera, that's also something. There are some stuff there that maybe some people might do and others might not, like lavar la ropa, so washing clothes. Maybe that's part of some of our routines, maybe it's not. But I wanted to put it on there because it is something that people in Spanish speaking countries do. And so you guys might hear some of these phrases or words being used, or it might be completely different because, like I mentioned, some of these people, their daily lives are very different from ours, and the way they interact with people might be very different, which is what I want you guys to keep in mind, because even though there's certain things in life that everyone tends to do, some people's lives are very different, and I think it's important to keep that in mind. So we're going to start off by going through the sheets, and then we're going to practice Kahoot. And at the end, you guys are going to be able to have conversations with your peers, and you guys are going to be able to talk to them using the Spanish language that we are learning. And I will be here, be able to help. I don't want you guys to feel intimidated by the words that you guys are using. We're all learning, and I think it's really important that we can work together and learn from each other, and that we could use each other as guides to be able to grow in our learning, right? So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you.